Hello, West Michigan. This is Tap In Podcast with Pamela Kime from Grand Tap Media and Stephanie Kolakowski from Grow Business Today. The spirit of the podcast is to introduce West Michigan to all the wonderful individual businesses and nonprofits that can help us thrive. So we have a very special guest today, and I'm going to give it to Stephanie Kolakowski to introduce them. Hello, Steph.
Hi, Pam. It's great to see you today. As always, your hat looks fabulous, first and foremost.
All right.
So glad you guys are joining us today because we have two very special guests with a brand new concept occur in Grand Rapids. So I introduce you to today, partners in life and also partners in business, Douglas Hanchet, aka the beautiful Chanel Hunter, with us today, and of course, partner Tom Zarkowski. I love the last name. Polish people, we got to stick together, right? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's exciting to be on the show. Thanks for having us, guys.
Awesome. So everybody, so if you haven't heard of Hamburger Mary's, it is still a newer franchise, but it is just fabulous. And the story behind it is even more beautiful. But there's 14 different locations. This is the first location of its kind in Grand Rapids. And Hamburger Mary's is going to be your spot, your destination point for great food, great fun, great experience, plus a little bit more about Hamburger Mary's and the story behind it, you guys.
Well, I mean, Tom and I have been together for 19 years. 19 years. And our roots are in Grand Rapids. This is kind of a return for us from the east side of the state. But Hamburger Mary's is a unique concept. We have fabulous burgers. We have a great full bar, but we really emphasize on top of the food and service, we give an experience when people come here. Anybody can go down the street and get any kind of burger they want or a beer, but when they walk into our place, they're gonna feel so wonderful, like every staff member does when they walk in there. It's happy, everybody's happy, moving, food's running out of the kitchen, the burgers look delicious, the queens are beautiful. It's just a very exciting thing here. Yeah, so we're gonna offer, of course, drag performances at least 6 nights a week. We offer various concepts, whether it's, karaoke, we call it. So we have a resident queen that's going to host and sing karaoke. We've got nonprofit where we raise money for different events. Every day we raise money for a charity that we choose. We've got Dining with the Divas Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We've got fabulous brunch shows Saturdays and Sundays. But it kind of blended me and Tom's backgrounds together. I have a love for the art of drag and the showbiz piece, and Tom has got 20 plus some years of restaurant experience, so from the front of the house to the back of the house. So it is a pretty unique match here. Yeah.
It's a perfect, your talents together combined brought this great concept, and this concept that's so needed. And it's going to offer so much opportunity, right, for people just to learn and get experience in things maybe they've never done or seen before. Maybe no one's ever been to a drag show before, or maybe they have judgments or thoughts about what that looks like or feels like. This is an opportunity for them to walk into a place that's inclusive and get to know and experience it for what it is, which is.
Well, with these bubbles that we created outside too, we've gotten such a wider base of customers that we normally maybe never would have gotten if they wouldn't have come in here. So our servers are saying, hey, come back for this show. People are seeing the insides, the chandeliers, the decoration, what's going on in there. We always tell them, well, you need to come back and find out. It's just going to be such a great
So where are you
Pam, they're located by you, girlfriend.
I know, I drive by every day and see that, and you have an outside kind of dining. I saw kind of these little plastic I don't know what they call those. Is that how that's your
we call them our pods.
The pods? Okay. Is there a name to it? I'm sure there is, but fine, I see that. And you guys have only been there right before COVID. Did you start before COVID or after, or how'd that work?
We opened the 26th of October was our main opening date. We were open for a week and we were really busy. People were excited. And then obviously COVID struck our home and we had to shut down for a little bit to clean. And, and then when we went ready to go open, that's when the whole state shut down.
So we're like, oh, okay, this is great. So we had to think of some things to do and outside the box. You know, we started off with the platforms and then we started with the bubbles, and here we are. It's a huge success. We're lucky. We're blessed that these bubbles taken off as much as they have.
Absolutely.
Right. And how are they handling that?
Suburban
The
moms.
outside seating.
Oh,
Are they
sorry.
doing what?
Talk about the suburban moms outside seating feel though for Pam, because I can't wait to take Pam here. So talk about like what you've heard and the feedback that you've gotten from people that might have not been in the restaurant or checked out the restaurant, but they did because they saw the pods.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of people from, I guess, the Cascade neighborhood area that, maybe we're locals at other places around here and saw our opportunity where we can go have a beer and sit down and have dinner. And that's what they were craving. And then they got here and they're like, what kind of place is this? And we have not had one single person who was like, whoa, I won't be coming back here, or like, oh, that's different. Like nothing like that. We're pleasantly surprised with how everyone has welcomed us open arms.
Or maybe if they even have, we have a lunch, they'll come in during our lunchtime and they'll enjoy the same services that they will get each time they come in here. A great service and a great burger, and some good shows.
And so you both, is this your first endeavor together? Is that what you said when you're going into this? I didn't hear all of it, but is that how this worked out?
Yeah, this is we run an internet jewelry business as well, but that's small beans compared to running a 6,500 square foot restaurant with all this kitchen stuff.
45 employees.
So yeah, this is our first real big endeavor together. So.
Wow. So what made you pick that area? Because that is you took over another restaurant, right? That wasn't, that was there for a little bit and then moved. I'm not sure what happened there, but what made you pick that area? Was it just the location was really exciting to you? Cascade? How'd that work?
I think several things. Honestly, I think the first thing is if you've ever been to the spot, it is an amazing spot. I mean, the outdoor patio with the roll-up garage doors gives you that indoor-outdoor feeling. So, we can't wait for the spring and summer to really live our best lives with that.
Right.
But we also took over a fully furnished building. Everything was already here. We had a great opportunity to just kind of move in what they like to call turnkey.
Yeah, like a turnkey operations, other than your basic cleaning and, that needed to be done.
Oh.
There was a lot of it.
But, from a neighborhood perspective, I think about when I go out to eat. We talked a lot about this. First of all, we're conveniently located 0.8 miles off of 96. So anyone from downtown can easily get here in 10 to 12 minutes.
Right.
The other thing is parking. I mean, we have a massive parking lot in front of our building. We're on 28th Street, one of the busiest streets in all of Michigan. So, there were several things that really made us.
Well, and we thought too, as well, during the pandemic, that this would be a perfect spot when we did get shut down to start our carry out. And so we really thought a lot about this going into opening a restaurant during the middle of a pandemic, because obviously this is what's happening.
We knew it may happen. We knew we might get shut down again. So we're not sitting here complaining by any stretch of the imagination. No. It's just made us become a little bit more creative
and think outside the box.
Right. So you are a franchise? Is that that you were saying? And how many are there in the country? Where are they mostly at?
We're number 14. The closest one to us now is Toledo. Okay. I like to say they're mainly bigger cities like West Palm Beach, there's
West Hollywood.
There's several in West Hollywood. There's several in Florida, like Orlando, Tampa. But big cities like Houston has one, Denver has one, Kansas City has one,
Milwaukee.
Yep, Milwaukee. A couple of them didn't make it through the pandemic, which is sad. We would have been, I think, number 16. But I know that there's still a growth plan. I think Toledo kind of really opened the door to the Midwest a little bit. I'll tell you the story. We were laying on the beach in Aruba, sunning ourselves.
And you
I was in Aruba, and I'm on my Facebook in the sun, and I see Hamburger Mary's Toledo. Like, what is that? Why can't we have a Hamburger Mary's? So, I always tell the Toledo team, you guys kind of inspired us, because I immediately called Laying on the Beach to get information of I didn't even know it was a franchise. I had no idea, because immediately we knew that this is something that Tom and I could be extremely successful at. So, Aruba, you did us good. It was my birthday in Aruba 2 years ago.
So what is one of the specialties on your menu when people are thinking it's a hamburger place, correct? Is that what I got from that? Okay.
It's more of a gourmet hamburger place. We do have a smaller menu, but what's attractive too is we sell these great big old legs. You ever see A Christmas Story and you remember that lamp that sits in that front window with the nylon stockings? Well, take off the lampshade and put high heels on it and stockings, and you've got one of our legs that we sell. So it's like a signature drink, and here's what he's talking about as far as the leg. So we have these, we sell these for $25 in any of our specialty drinks. We have a really cool fruit punch with Jolly Rancher infused liquor that we put in there, and obviously we can put in non-alcoholic drinks for people as well.
There's your answer, Stephanie, non-alcoholic drinks.
So anything that you want, and that's like a little souvenir. So that's the little things about here, like little niches. You'll see high heels all over the wall. You'll see Hamburger Mary portraying different pictures, and it's just really neat. And it's like a museum, kind of. It's almost like the opposite of a big boy, but it's like Hamburger Mary.
Like our mascot Hamburger Mary is like in every different picture posed from like famous pictures. It's a really cool place when you come in. I think going back to our menu a little bit, we've got some really cool burgers.
Yes.
What is it? The Mary's burger.
And then we have a hamburger, or like the Queen Mary. And then we also have
the Blue Boy.
The Blue Boy.
The barbecue Barbarella.
The Barbarella. We call it the Barbara.
So we're talking.
Okay.
Grilled
So it's all
onion.
strictly hamburgers, and do you have like fries? Is it like your typical?
No, we have fries. Yep. We also have salads. We have a bird of paradise. We start off with a small menu. Mary's menu is pretty extensive and large. So right now we're just trying a simple platform to get everybody on
A
the
lot
same
of people
page.
have simplified their menus, especially during COVID. They want to just simplify it.
Yeah, reduces costs and everything, and it's just easier to train the grill staff too on smaller menus instead of freaking them out with this great big old menu where you can just kind of slide them right into it and add things as you go.
Now for our desserts, we should not fail to mention that we have fried Twinkies.
Deep fried Twinkies with ice cream and powdered sugar, raspberry or chocolate toppings.
Wow.
And yes, they are amazing. And we also have a great big old brownie sundae with ice cream as well.
All right. So as new business owners as you are, can you just kind of share what's something that you would tell other people that you didn't foresee, or what you had to overcome that you were like, whoa, I didn't even know, being the owners of a restaurant, because a restaurant is a tough business.
I'll let you go first. I know what I'm going to say. I'll just start then. I think we took over a turnkey building, and you can sit there all you want and write a budget on a piece of paper. We were way over budget. Everything costs more than what you think it's going to cost. So if you are thinking X amount of dollars is going to do it, you need to add probably, 30 to 50% more, because no matter what it was, we thought it was going to cost X and it came in this. And if something did come in a little bit under, something came in way over. So no matter what it was, the cost perspective is probably a little bit more, even in something that looked as well put together and clean and ready to go as this was. There was a lot of stuff to be done, and you need a good support staff. Like, we have a fantastic accountant who is keeping us on the straight and narrow with everything. The franchise people, like, they've given us the tools, but we had to really develop every Hamburger Mary's is unique. Even though it's a franchise, we all have the same menus and whatnot. However, everyone is, decorated a little different. There is some creative freedom with, the franchise as well. But, I'm finding that having a great marketing team behind you, thank you, Stephanie and team, how much further that's going to drive, the business. So really building that support team that might not even be the people that you work with every day. They might be individuals who really, we have an amazing liquor license lawyer who does that that's all they do is liquor licenses. And the loopholes and the different legislations and the laws and everything changing with COVID. Like, I mean, we've had some amazing people, and then we've got a couple mentors. A lady that runs a restaurant in Ypsilanti, Linda French. She's been around for probably 40 or 50 years running a business very successfully. So to have some mentors like that, I think you need to have that when you do this kind of business.
Well, and especially you guys starting with COVID. I mean, that's got to be. I mean, just the challenges with that. Are you have? I'm sure you have takeout, correct? To pivot this. And did you originally have takeout, or did you really put it into the menu? Yeah.
We just decided one day that when we were shut down, we're like, okay, this business is not going to fail. We're going to try all these platforms like Grubhub and DoorDash and Uber, and then we set up our own mobile bites, and then we started to do $10 burgers, and then once we started to get a bigger base customer base, and then we were like, okay, well, let's get these pods out there, and then we started with the pods, and I'm like, okay, well, let's go back to our original price burgers and slowly slide that in, and then let's go ahead and sell some to-go alcohol, because it's great, the MLCC allows that we're allowed to sell alcohol to go as long as it's in sealed containers and it's taken right out of the premises. So we were able to sell some of our specialty drinks and mimosas on Sundays and beers to go and growlers. So, I mean, just part of overcoming is just overcoming the obstacles as far as trying to find different ideas to keep the business going. That's what I'm finding a little bit more difficult as we go.
So who's everybody has like a customer base they want to attract? I mean, is this like more of couples coming in the evening, or exactly are you guys, who's your customer?
Well, we've got our demographic pretty well split, I think. Of course, we attract the LGBTQ. Automatically, they come to us because we're that unique space with drag and a safe place for them, of course. So that's part of ours. But, our target customer that we're really focusing on is ladies, whether it's, a young girl getting out of work with some girlfriends that want to come in.
Or going out with their gay boyfriend.
Whatever the case may be, or bachelorette, birthday party.
Yeah, I was going to say that would probably be a good
party.
Yeah.
Let's go play bingo with drag queens.
Their husbands. We have a great big bar. Your husbands can sit up and watch the multiple TVs that we have in our bar while you can go have fun and play bingo with the drag queens and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say you guys would be an idea for the bachelorette to have fun with your girlfriends. And
that's just a different night. You sell them legs, you put on crowns, you have some drinks, you have some great burgers. I mean, it's a great night. Like,
it's fun. It's a lot. Yeah. But our intention here at Hamburger Mary's is, if it's on the radio and if it's on TV, it is definitely on the table for us, because they might hear it at Hamburger Mary. So minor cursing, maybe a lewd joke on a very borderline, I don't want to call it PG-13, but we really do keep our shows so you can.
Important and impresses me. And when we first met and sat down, your heart and social impact and the amount of money, even just starting, that you've raised for local charities, and how you incorporate that into every single month of giving. So you're a big believer in doing well and doing good for others. Can you talk about that for a minute as part of your core mission?
Yeah, I mean, charity and giving back to the community is a pillar for every Hamburger Mary. But drag queens across the country have been known for their philanthropy, in general. We always say, if you want to raise money, put a man in a dress. Like, it's laughable, but I can't tell you how many friends that we've buried along the way who maybe didn't have any money and passed away suddenly, and we've had to raise money, or a family lost a house and they're due to fire. So you think about those kind of disasters, but our mission here is, how every month can we impact a small nonprofit? So knowing what I knew about Grand Rapids, I knew that HQ, or As You Are, is also a name they go by. They do a lot of work for young teens in the LGBTQ community. They could be homeless, they could be, underprivileged, whether it's a drop-in center or whatever the case may be. So we all know that there's a need, and with the pandemic right now especially. So what we do at Hamburger Mary's is, every show we do, we close the show with what I call a production number. So my hosts know that we talk about it through the show. We're raising money for HQ all month long. So at the end of the night, we're going to do a special performance and all the money goes to HQ. So we'll do something like, Lean on Me, or if it's a really rowdy crowd, like Love Shack, or, Seasons of Love from Rent, where everyone can kind of like sing along and, wave their hands and get into it. And in the 5 days that we did shows while we were open, we raised over $2,000 for HQ. Now, they were supposed to be our nonprofit all the way through November as well. So what we've decided to do is make sure that they get their fair shake. And, we really want to be able to write the check for $10,000 at the end of the month. I think that's a realistic goal. And, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and a check that big for a nonprofit will go so far. So, but it also makes all of us feel really good. Like we get so excited, at the 6 o'clock show, we raised $120. Come on, 8 o'clock, you're better than that. Let's go. And then we raise $160 at 8 o'clock, and, all that money just goes in the kitty. We do other things, like we round up all the checks. We give the customers, the same conversation here at every drive-through. Did you want to round up today? All the money goes to HQ. So like we had that set up in our register systems to, keep track of that as well. So I think it warms our heart. We feel good that we're doing something good for the community. And I look forward to really impacting a lot of charities this next year.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, all right, so you're working with Stephanie. Where are you targeting your marketing, and what would you like to get in front of and move towards in 2021?
Is that for me, or you want them to answer?
Well, either one.
You go ahead and take that one, Stephanie.
I'll take it away. So our first focus is of course families and women, and then also we still want to reach out to our LGBTQ community, but we're really focused in on a multi-tiered plan. So all of the people that we're working with share our core values and mission of making sure we're creating inclusive environments and looking to experience new things and have a great experience and do good for community in the process. So we've partnered with 95.7 with Rob Sparks, who is an amazing person, and also came out here in Grand Rapids at over 30 years old, came out for the first time when he moved here to Grand Rapids, who is going to be a voice on 95.7 and a brand ambassador for Hamburger Mary's. And we've partnered with Hot FM 105.7. And of course, we're looking at partnering today with our podcast and Grand Tap Media, because public access, we want to make sure that everybody is getting the message and that we're doing our job intentionally to reach them along the journey. And then we're also our social media management team. So we're really focused in on, again, telling the stories of the queens, telling the story of Hamburger Mary's and what it stands for, what it means, and then going a step farther and saying, for each charity we touch each month, how can we help them, knowing that charities don't have marketing dollars typically to spend or can spend? How can we include them in our marketing to showcase all of the wonderful work that they're doing in our community and tell the stories of impact after that $10,000 check is wrote? Tell the stories of impact of what that $10,000 did for families, individuals, and our community. So we have a really multi-tiered approach. And what's been beautiful is everybody just, again, embracing the concept, every person saying we needed this here. And of course, you guys, and just being, the hearts that you have, the story that you have, your authenticity, your dedication to, being here long-term, and also already talking about a second Hamburger Mary's, your growth mode. You're the type of people we want to work with, your growth mindset, your growth mode, and you're laying a solid foundation to build from.
Great. So what do you guys want, both of you, now that you've been in the restaurant, you probably connected with a lot of people already with your industry and things. So how are you seeing 2021? Besides, we all want it to go well, all of us do. But any big changes coming, or you just want to do the more marketing to get more people in the door, which a lot of restaurants would like right now?
I think right now is just, we want to do the marketing to get people in here, as well as focus on getting great food, the quality of queens in here to grow our business a little more, and then, see what goes from next, from there. We do have a lot of ideas, to move forward.
And I think what I'm ready for is whatever the challenge is. I think we've talked about this so many times. What is the next hoop of fire we have to jump through? And we're going to do it.
We don't want to.
We don't want to, but we know that challenges, we know that this pandemic is still going on, and we are hopeful that this was our last shutdown, but we are forward thinking, and how do we continue to prepare ourselves just to be the best Hamburger Marys we can, and making great business decisions and really impacting the community.
Well, and I think with this, if there's going to be, and hopefully there's not going to be another shutdown, so maybe this reopening can make us get a little bit more of a customer base to where, they're going to be like, okay, well, let's support this restaurant a little bit more. This is our first time here. It was a great experience. Let's keep them going so they can stay open.
Yeah, we only had 6 days open. So we didn't exactly blow the doors off the place with this huge group, but I mean, we were successful, but we only reached that small group in 6 days. So I think this marketing is gonna outreach and make people, like Stephanie said, we want Mary's to be top of mind coming out of this pandemic. So
well, I think it's going to, because people are going to need to have fun. We keep talking about that. They're just going to need to be able to get out and see a good show and just feel safe because of our open air environment.
All right, so now that you guys have opened up a restaurant, and many people dream of owning their own restaurant, Stephanie and I know a lot of them that do already, what can you, you are so new at this, and you had to change so much through COVID. Give them when people watching this, our audience, can you share a little bit, give one advice you would give if you are thinking of starting this endeavor, and then something positive they could take away?
Well, just having both partners on board, everybody on board and on the same page. And at the end of the day, we want the same results.
One best way
all the time. Move forward.
And I guess I would say, expect the unexpected. I know that sounds like Big Brother or Survivor, but expect the unexpected. And you have to spend and invest to get that return and be successful. So if you go in with a real tight-fisted mentality, you don't want to invest in different, whether it's buying growlers for growlers to go, I was like, do we really want to do that or do we not? I've learned through this. I'll tell you, he wanted to do the bubbles. I didn't want to do the bubbles. They were really expensive, but it was the best decision that was made so far. And sometimes you have to take a risk. And
now we're sold out.
And now we're
5
sold
and
out.
7 p.m. every night almost.
So I would say don't be afraid to take a risk.
And think outside the box or outside the bubble.
I think those are kind of cool, and I think they're here to stay. Especially Michigan. People can use them in the winter. I think they're here to stay, and I think it's a great idea. I think there's going to be a lot of good things coming out of COVID that we're just going to get used to, and it's going to make things better. But I'm going to leave to Stephanie to ask the final question here, Steph. So it's up to you, dear.
All right. We always ask every guest, how can we tap into Hamburger Mary's? Where can we go to tap in and learn more? Where can we go?
You can find us on Facebook. Yep. So you can find us, first of all, on Facebook, Hamburger Mary's Grand Rapids, Instagram, Hamburger Mary's GR. So you can find us on those 2 social media platforms. And then, of course, hamburgermarys.com, and it lists all the different franchise locations. And you can just click on our name. But you also can find us at 6240 28th Street Southeast, which is just about a mile past 96 heading towards Cascade. So.
Yeah, you can't miss it. You guys have a lot of great businesses that share your area, so that must be nice to have them come for lunch or order something. There's a lot of nice businesses over that way. Don't you think? Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. We'll tap in with you later down the road. This is Pamela Keim and Stephanie Kolakowski. We will catch you next time on Tap In Podcast. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Tom and Chanel.